Um, so a lot's been going on for like the past since the last time I've been live on stream, and honestly, been basically putting content creation on the back end. And I'm a I'm a I'm a there's a lot for me
I
to
can
talk
definitely
about,
fix
but I'm gonna
this.
try to say this the best way I can. First, I want to try to figure out what's a good weapon for trials, because I'm gonna be ass. I'm just gonna be ass. Okay, so a few things that I would like to say about what's been going on before
This
I
doesn't
actually
make
get
any
into trials,
sense.
because I need at least get this off my chest before I actually begin to start trials. Um, so like I said, a lot has happened since I've streamed, since I've literally been thinking about content creation. And for a time, I was like, how should I say this? I was very much like done with everything. I was like, man, schoolwork is ass. I don't want to do this. I don't know how to work. Just been ass. I just been in a very, 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 very low point. And however, but during that time, I should say, I'll say it. Um, so around last month now, August, last month at the beginning of the month, our family had a bit of a tragedy. It pertained to my great grandmother, who unfortunately passed away. Her health was already like going down significantly, but we was trying to make it there to see her one last time, but we couldn't. So, and we went to the funeral procession, prayed for everything, and I, and it's a weird feeling losing my great grandmother. Like she lived to be 94 years old. Her birthday just passed. Her birthday was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, 2 days ago. So it was kind of like it's like, oh my jeez. But when she passed, I decided to do what I normally do in these situations, and I just wrote. I just write. I wrote a poem about her, and I shared the poem with the family, and everyone suggested that I recite the poem during the service, which I did. I recited the poem, and I haven't really recited a poem in like years. Last time I actually recited a poem was like in high school. So I felt like it was very special, but like it wasn't even it felt like it was something that I needed to say, or like there are people that needed to hear what everyone's been feeling. And when I did that, it was originally when I was doing that, I was very nervous because I was like, man, nah, maybe I shouldn't do this. Nah, maybe I shouldn't actually perform. But after talking with everyone else in the family, they said, just go ahead and do it. If you don't feel like doing it, just consider it. And I considered it. Talked to my aunt that prepared everything. She put it on the service, and I stood up there, recited, and everyone congratulated me that that was a beautiful poem. I'm like, thank you so much. And originally I thought that was gonna be the end of it. Okay, let's get through with the service, get to a burial, and just make it go head back home. Cause I'm like, okay, my services is done. I'm like, I got my feelings out, I got all my thoughts out. But my granny, I feel like my granny had one last thing to try to show to everyone that needed to see. And we ended up going to, so my granny was born in North Carolina. we had to travel from where I was to North Carolina to for the service and the burial. And the the most amazing thing, I'm saying this amazing, I'll get to that, is that the burial site was where my great grandfather was buried, and they were together for many years. And he was buried in North Carolina because they both originally from North Carolina, and they moved from North Carolina. Well, my great grandfather moved from North Carolina to New York, but then managed to just make enough money to bring her up to New York as well. So basically, family originated in North Carolina. But then when we went back, we went for the service for the burial, and we went to the burial site. And a little bit known fact about me, I hate cemeteries. I'm terrified of cemeteries. It's I can't handle cemeteries. I can't handle death. But I managed to muster up the courage to do so. Because this of course special occasions. I can't handle it. But when I went to the cemetery, it wasn't just a typical public cemetery. It was a cemetery where not only my granny, my great grandfather was laid to rest. Sorry, my bad. I'm getting a little too quiet. I need to be up in the mic. Okay. It wasn't just when it wasn't a place where my granny and my great grandfather was laid to rest. It was also everyone, all of my granny's family members that were laid to rest. I was I didn't know at the time, but when I was standing there, I'm like, okay, it's just another cemetery. I'm not sure the coach just handle it. But then when I hear everyone in the family was like, oh, they're like amazed. I'm like, what's so amazing about this? But then I remember my cousin mentioned that this is all of Granny's family. I'm like, what? It's like pointing to different gravestones that had different names. And then I looked all around, and I asked my uncle, I was like, Uncle, is this? And he said, it's family. All of this is family. And I'm like, what? So then I started looking at almost as many graves as I can, and they date back to almost 200 years, back in the 1800s. They were born, and then they passed during the 1900s. And when I saw that, I was like, holy, what a legacy that my granny had, and then now we're still living that legacy. And it kind of correlates with the poem that I wrote for her. And I was just so amazed. I was so like, oh my goodness, this can't, what? And after that, it felt like I was like this level of fear and the level of like anxiety that I had was just gone. And I was like, holy crap. So when I came back, I was really starting thinking, I'm like, what am I scared of? What am I actually scared of? There shouldn't mean anything that I'm fearing, because I have a legacy. I have a massive, like exponential legacy that was before me. And I'm just like, okay, let me live up to that, but let me live up to that potential. So I was like, you know what? Let me give YouTube another shot. If you don't fear death or anything else, you know you're alright. Yep. It's like my granny lived a long life, and I was so happy that I managed to be a part of that life. At least got to know her. And to be honest, I don't have any regrets. Because I know in my heart, like, yes, there always going to be a moment where I could have known more about my granny. But to know just as much as I know now, being that I've known her for majority of my life. I think that I feel satisfied, kind of happy about that. So, and how does this go correlate to being a content creator? Well, I decided to give it another shot. I want to give it another shot, but I'm not going to do it in a way that I was doing it previously. I felt like before I was just doing things just for the sake of like doing them. I honestly felt it, even though it didn't seem like it, but it felt like it. So, I want to give it another go, but in a way that I want to make it like more more visual, more like concise. Okay, let me see. I feel more refreshed, honestly, yes. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it another shot. Let's give it another go. However, I want to do more, like, I want to do more streams, but I want to try to do it every weekend instead of try to do it as much time as possible. I at least want to do it every weekend because, of course, trials, but also want to do other stuff. For different games I want to try to play, I'm gonna make that exclusively only recordings. I'm not gonna do live stream recordings because I feel like I lost that. Not really. It's more like the intimacy with myself of just enjoying the game, of just playing the game for myself, and then sharing my experiences with you guys in a very like consistent-ish basis with just doing that. If I do live stream, it's like I'm doing it not for the sake of enjoying the game as game as it is, but more of a like also entertainment for like a live view. You understand what I'm saying? So that I think that's why I want to try to cut back on try to like focus on just live recordings or do all that stuff. I just want to focus on just solely like recording videos and just playing games on my own instead of just solely focusing on this. I just want to stream games that I feel like I like to enjoy have fun with. Destiny right now, I like having fun. But if there's other games I want to try to play for myself, I'll do that. But if it's games I want to try to record and like make a let's play of it, I want to do just that. I feel like I'll have more enjoyable time with content creation if I do something like that. So